How you doing, Rob?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Welcome to completely off topic and straight to the point.
Thanks,
Again, I
man.
messed up, but it just makes sense to mess it up. Oh, you're welcome. Rob, you're the owner of Electrum, right?
Yeah,
You started making stencil products first. Am I wrong about that?
you're not wrong. That was in
Right on.
2012.
I don't use too many stencils anymore. So I never got to use your product too much, but I know some people fucking love it.
Yeah, yeah.
Stencil people.
It's been pretty well received over the last 10 years, so I'm pretty proud of it.
Was it
It was,
Cody Reed stands by it, swears by it. I
yeah,
think that's a good testament.
Cody's a good guy. I pay him to say all the right things, though. So.
Oh, really? Well, that makes more sense, really. That's starting to, yeah. Because every time I'm beating your product up, I'm like, I don't know. All I do is shave with it. He's like, no, it's really good. You use it, put the stencil on too. I'm like, I just don't trust it. I've been drawing with ink pens. Do you have a spray yet?
You don't need a spray. Electrum works with ink pens and markers and all that stuff.
How do I use it with the ink pen then? This is something I've never known.
Well, so you can use it one of two ways. You can put it on before and let it dry on the skin and then draw right on top of it. You can draw it with your ink pens and then put a layer on top of it and let it dry on top of the ink pens.
Either way draw on the skin first and then put it on top is the other way, or?
Yeah, either or. Yep, you can draw on the skin first.
Why wouldn't it wash away if I put it on first and then I put it over top?
Skin last, either way.
It seems like it'd stay better if I put it on after. I've never tried it, so I have no idea. I didn't even. That's good to know. I'm gonna try it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, some people put it on before and then they draw on it and then they put it on after it, kind of like a sandwich. I mean,
but it seems like that would be on top of a layer of it. It seems like that would make it disappear more.
No, you have to understand the science behind stencil products. So
come on, man.
There's actually a good science there. I mean, there are ingredients in stencil products that pull the dye into the skin, and that's what the superior stencil products are better at doing that, obviously, than the subpar products. So,
I've used your other product, Electrum Cleanse, forever. I've loved that thing.
That's you really love that one, and I don't even pay you to say
that. No, you don't pay me to say that. You really paying Cody? I'm getting
no.
You're like, don't start something, Kyle.
No, but that's what all the politicians do. So I'm here, I'm supposed to pay people to say what I want them to say to make them think that my shit don't stink.
Magicians. Have you heard of meme magic?
No. Where do I learn about meme magic?
I dare say YouTube, but at the same time, Rob, you know what? Fuck it. Never mind. Let's act like we didn't even talk about it. It's like Voldemort. We're just giving power to it, man. I'm going to see you in a couple of years. Your face is painted up white. You got some upside down cross question mark on your eyeball. You're fucking drawing shit on fucking marker boards when you walk down the street in like a gold lame skirt or something. But you'll be floating.
Now I got to go down that rabbit hole.
I think I was watching it on Hulu. It might have been. It's probably Netflix, actually, though. Isn't that where I don't know. It's like somebody was trying to make it a documentary, but documentaries nowadays are kind of funny. Sometimes they're not documentaries. You know what I mean? They're masquerading as a
documentary. Yeah.
Or like my opinion, or some footage that I put together and was able to make a storyline with. Here you go.
Yeah, I enjoy documentaries too. So,
well, look up this meme magic thing. I got about halfway through it and I was getting tired, so I had to sleep. But I plan on finishing it now because it's like been haunting me. It's one of them, where you're like, and at the same time, I don't know. It almost feels like you touch it was real. Like when all these election things are going off, and everybody, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, they're saying everything's fucked up now. And I'm always hesitant to believe that because I feel like they've been saying that forever, right? Like in Jesus' times, there was a guy in the corner being like, the end is near. Jesus was on the corner saying the end is near, right? Wasn't my Father's kingdom is at hand. Y'all gonna die tomorrow, motherfucker.
Yeah. I guess you have to define near in human terms because the human existence isn't all that long in the grand scheme of things. So
that's the line they sell me every time. I'm like, this guy was not up on the times, man. He said it was at hand. It kind of is, Kyle. When you hold up, Pastor. I was trying to sell me some shit, putting the collection plate in front of me now. Oh, okay, if I give you enough, I buy my way, right? Okay, I'll see you. I'm going to heaven. We already talked. I'm going to heaven just to see the horse, just to get the cocaine.
Well, Kyle, there's one hard rule I live by in life, and it is that perception is reality, and that's the absolute truth, and that's the only truth that I realize, bro. That's it.
I think that's
whatever somebody believes is the fucking truth, bro.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing them it's not, aren't you?
You are gonna have a hard time convincing them it's not. So you just better let them believe what they believe and carry on about your business. That's the way I figure it.
So what the fuck is wrong with me? Because I love nothing more than to hear somebody's. It don't even matter if I believe it myself sometimes. Like somebody will say some shit, and I'll be like, let me see if I can make you think differently.
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to, make somebody validate their beliefs and feel like, how strong is their knowledge on something. I don't talk about a whole lot of stuff I don't have knowledge about because you just sound like a freaking idiot, So it's like, if you talk to me about politics, I'll just skim the surface because I don't get too much into politics. If you talk to me about Medicare and medicals and every other problem that's going on in the world in Ukraine and Russia, I don't know a whole lot about all of that stuff, so I don't.
What you know about Jake Paul?
In the detail. I know about Logan Paul more than I know about Jake Paul.
Right. What do you know about Logan Paul?
Well, I just know I appreciate what he's done for the Pokeverse. I'm a Pokemon collector card, Hey, okay. And that dude jacked the price of those cards up into the freaking stratosphere, bro.
He did that.
Oh yeah, he spends millions of dollars on cards, man, and it makes everybody else want to spend millions of dollars on cards. So all these cards,
but the card was already priced at that price before he bought it, and it was fake or something too, wasn't it?
Well, he bought a case of base series cards, and the 6 boxes inside of there were stuffed with G.I. Joe cards.
Oh, see, I didn't know it was G.I. Joe, but I knew that. But I was just trying to see how deep you were into it. You do know all this. What do you know about him hanging with dead bodies?
I don't know too much about that, man.
Okay. I wonder, like at some point, we always run that dangerous line, like at what, I don't know if we always do, but here's one where you're like, this guy was all hated for a while. And then, but he brought positive shit to Pokemon. However, if it wasn't for all the hate that he had generated that raised his popularity up to the level it was, would he have been able to generate as much interest in the Pokemons with his purchases?
Probably.
What I mean? No. What do we got now? Because I should probably start some lineage questions for you. I guess that's what we should do. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the ink that you got coming out. Well, actually, I've been using the fuck out of your black, and I have been very happy with that. I used it on several tattoos, just making my own gray shade, breaking it down with water,
The Notorious?
Yes, I was curious about breaking it down with Electrum, but I didn't want to have an experience that I wasn't so familiar with and have a variable I wasn't so familiar with in the process. You know what I mean?
With the cleanse, you mean?
Yeah, using Electrum Cleanse with the black ink as to make my gray shade.
I absolutely think you can do that safely. I would confirm that for sure with the manufacturers of Cleanse just to be sure, but I don't see where there would be any issue with that. Right. I know you can use it in your rinse cups, so therefore I don't know why you wouldn't be able to use it to cut your inks the same way.
Well, I mean, as much as I trust the science behind it, I've seen it. I've used it before you purchased it, you licensed the product. Am I wrong? I can cut all this up, Rob, but I mean,
yeah.
This
This is totally public knowledge. Cleanse is not a
okay.
proprietary product that I invented at all. I am the third or fourth.
I started using it on the very first, the third or fourth. I think there was Electricin or something, right? I don't know. Are they even making it still? Artisan, Electricin
first.
Yep.
And then it was Electricin, and Icon had the license for it when it was Electricin.
You're the only person making this product, though, or available to tattoo artists currently.
Absolutely, yeah. Awesome. They will only license it to one person in one, sector at a time. They don't want to create competition in the space. They just want to be able to put it with one person. And the reason why I'm the fourth person that's had it now, I don't know all the ins and outs of why the other three people before me lost their licensing, but I've had the license myself now for, it's been at least 3 years, maybe going on 4 now.
Well, in my universe, everything happens out of passion. And I personally believe that they don't have passion for this product, and that is what did it.
I'm sure there's some of it, and I've certainly heard that told.
I think that's the bigger part. It's a hard thing to go ahead and tell a tattoo artist, hey, this is my product. It replaces water. Do you follow? And in some cases, that's the way they feel you're doing, but it isn't water. This is it. I don't know to me, I don't use soap. I use Electricin. And when I draw on the skin, I put down Electricin before and or after. I've got a drawing on there and let it sit for 13 seconds. I know it's killing off bacteria and MRSAs. And I'm going to make some stuff up now. I think it's killing off cancer. So all the cancer that could have been on the skin is gone now.
Electrum Cleanse.
Why? What am I saying?
I don't know what you're saying, but you are not saying
Electrum Cleanse. Motherfucker, Rob, you got to keep me straight, brother.
You're getting corrected by your audio editor back there. I hear your engineer in the background.
Well, she's got to do it because you ain't going to keep me honest. Come on now, brother.
We're talking about multiple products, so it's easy to make the mix up. But yeah, Electricin is not incorrect. It's the same product in the bottle. It's just called Electrum Cleanse now.
All right. You know how my brain works. It don't. I apologize. I'm glad to see that you ain't taking any offense on your product.
No, I don't take any offense, dude. I don't get offended by too much in the tattoo world anymore. I used to. I mean, but you got to have pretty thick skin to be in this game, man.
How long you been in it?
It's a pretty hardcore industry at times, 99 is when actually 94 is when I started getting into tattooing as far as getting tattooed. And so if you count all that time, I don't know, what is that, 28 years? Is that right? Is my math right?
Don't ask me to do the math.
28 years? I think that's what it is.
I'm just going to go with it. Yeah, it's a long time, Rob.
So it's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute.
It's about the same time I started getting into tattoos, actually. Professionally, I'd gotten my first one at 13, so I don't know if that counts. So your first tattoo, how old were you?
94? I would have been, well, shit, dude. Actually,
oh, shit, 94.
My first tattoo was actually when I was like 12.
You fucking idiot. Where you at? Where do you get tattooed?
Oh, me and my buddies, we were all hand poking tattoos on each other. They were sewing needle and thread and freaking India ink. Yeah, we were hand poking crosses on each other's middle fingers,
My friend's got a cross, so I ups the ante, and I rule on my shoulder. And he fucked up poking me on one side because he was getting it off center. And at this time, I was an artist enough that I knew, how somebody makes a sign for a yard sale, right? And it always looks the same. It's all big, bold letters, starts at the left. And then it gets towards the end and they're squishing everything together. And then they got another little line and they got like the last two. So I seen what he was doing. It was going to be off center. And I was like, whoa. And see, I'm smart. So at 13 years old, I was like, no, you're going to be off center. You already fucking scarred me over here, man. Let's not make a huge mistake. Put it on my other shoulder and center it up this time. Cause I'm 13 years old, fat, pudgy with a big old afro, and I rule. Oh man. But at least it wasn't on my job stopper ass hand.
I know, right? I didn't even know. That
You're a
never stopped me
worker.
from getting a job, though. It
I was
never stopped me
curious.
from getting a job. No,
Like
no,
you're
never
one of
stopped.
them driven people, and I'm like curious. I'm like, no way. That's so. You were still doing what? What was your job after school?
Man, I worked in construction pretty much. From 10th grade into I started framing houses with my friends' parents when we were 15 years old. I was carrying trusses up ladders, and so that's where that all started. But
they didn't like using cranes at all, huh? Too
man,
expensive.
No, I don't know if it was that or if it was more of let's haze these little punk ass teenagers and make them do this shit the hard way.
Okay, yeah. Climbing ladders with trusses isn't safe nor easy. No. Like those things are depending. I mean, you might be putting up just a garage, even actually. It's still hard.
No, that sucked. We'd have two ladders leaning up against the house, and I'd be on one end of the truss, and my buddy'd be on the other end of the truss, and we'd did our best to make sure we were hitting rungs at the same time going up either.
Yeah. You didn't have nobody sliding them across for you or watching them as you slid one to the other?
No, man. We just lugged those suckers up the ladder, man, one by one.
And I'm sure everybody cares to hear about it, I guess. But, like that's also a shared, like I did construction when I was a kid. So to me, it's interesting. So I apologize. Get back to probably what the kids want. Mm-hmm.
You know what, though? We didn't mind that because I think back then we were getting paid $12 an hour. And back then that was really, really good money for a kid in high school. I mean, we were rolling in the dough, man. So we didn't mind climbing those freaking ladders, man. We were young and strong, so it was fine.
Did you fall?
No, never fell. No, neither did my friend. So we got lucky.
I've took a couple. I walked out on a I don't know what it was, like a flat roof, but it just had waffle fiber board or whatever on it. I walked out on it just for a second, but it was all rotted out, and so I ended up falling down. Luckily, I was right on top of the guy's balcony because I was 3 stories up. But,
oh damn!
It was crazy for him though. He was waking. It was the morning, and he's got to deal with somebody on his roof pounding around and shit already. And then he's sitting there with his coffee. Cause I come in the scene, I'm standing on top of him. He doesn't see me. All of a sudden, boom, the whole thing smashes in and I smash on his lawn chair. Is one of the cheap plastic ones. And just smashes, breaks underneath me. I'm so grateful to be alive. Because when you're doing construction, you can fall 1.5 inches from one piece of 2x4 stacked on top of the other. You do that little fall, you catch yourself immediately, but you thought you were dying,
Oh yeah.
So I'm going down 6 to 8, was about 8 feet. And the whole time I'm like, fuck, this was it. Dude, knew it was happening all along. Fucking rotten wood.
I think about that all the time. Like you see people jump off of these big ass buildings like they're trying to kill themselves, and I'm thinking to myself, what are they thinking the whole way down?
Oh fuck! God. I know what I was thinking. Everything went slow, and I was just like, well, I guess that's the way it goes. This was like Hudsucker Proxy. It was so many movies that you watch. And I had all this time to think about it and a lot of horror, and then when I felt that underneath me, I didn't know what it was. Just as soon as it all stopped and everything sped up real quick, and I'm looking at this guy who's got coffee shaking, it spilled out of his hands, his eyes are wide as fuck, and he's like jumping up out of his couch, and I'm just thankful to be alive. It was I don't know, our eyes met for a second. There was a weird kind of communication, he didn't I thought that he was going to be crazy pissed because I broke his stuff, and he was all right, I've successfully gotten off the point.
That's all right. That's what the point is, right?
It's what the title is, so I'm going to go with it.
Thinking about this for a couple of weeks. I listened to a couple of episodes of your podcast because I'm like, man, I'm going to go on a podcast with Kyle, and I'm like,
what's it like?
Telling where this might go, So I'm like, what are we going to talk about? Well, I wonder what he's going to ask me. But then I just ultimately decide, you know what? Doesn't matter because it's just going to be off topic, and it doesn't really matter. We'll just see where things go and hit it.
I feel that that's the best at this point, and also it you know, I like to keep things tattoo related for sure, and ink master related whereas I can too. But you're in the world of traveling tattoos as I am. And I find that interesting, every facet of it. You know what I mean? From Pickles back there making stencils and doing all that behind the scenes work to the many different groups that come out and throw their fish into the shores of traveling tattoo conventions or whatnot. Yourself, though, you've kind of made a home of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I sit here sometimes and I think, what else would I be doing if I wasn't doing this? And I don't think I'd have any kind of identity if I wasn't doing this, to be honest with you, man. Like, this has become so much of who I am anymore. You know, it's what I eat, sleep, and breathe every day. So I don't even know what I would do if I wasn't doing this. Like, I have no other interest really.
If you're a tattoo artist, like, let me give you a little promo for a second. If you're a tattoo artist, it's good not to have MRSA. And there's 1, 2, 3. It's pretty simple as that. Am I wrong? If you're a tattoo artist, it's good not to have MRSA on the skin, and people have MRSA on the skin. That's also a fact. Some people are going to be susceptible to it. Some people ain't. And alcohol can do a lot to clean a tattoo. Green soap can do a lot to clean a tattoo. But Electrum Cleanse kills MRSA. Am I making a statement I'm not allowed to make? Do I have to edit this out?
Oh, you're absolutely not. I mean, it's more effective than the Cavicide and other cleansers that you're using in your tattoo shop. It's got a quicker kill time. Yeah, I believe you can even go on Google and you'll find some scientific documentation that might even say something to the effect that it kills COVID. And I'm not making that claim, but I'm telling you, if you go on the Google, you probably see some things like that too.
That is exactly what I've heard. Who was it? Scott was telling me that. So, but, you know, Scott's the first person I ever met with when he came into my shop. I have this habit of treating people like human beings, or like they might be a valuable. They're going to interest me. I think that's what it is. I just, like, you could be wasting my time, but it could be interesting to me. Like, even right now, I'm fighting with the Call of Duty support team. And the only reason I'm engaging in it is because it's interesting for me. I don't give a fuck about these clan node points, but I'm getting off topic. Scott was an interest to me when he came in, and no one else was giving him the time of day in the shop. And he had a product that he said was you know, awesome, and he started doing a salesman routine on it. I'm listening for a minute, and then I just wanted to shut him up a little bit. And so I was like, "Oh yeah, would you spray in your eye?"
And he did.
Dude, he did. He was like, "Fuck you, man."
I'll drink the shit in front of people, bro. I've done the same thing.
He did this. He did that. He said he wouldn't drink a bunch of it because it could kill bacteria that he didn't want to kill, because there's good bacteria in them. But he said there's people in Japan or something that are drinking. But Scott always, you know, he's a salesman. He used to work for Pfizer or something. That's why he was weird for most people to see, because he was coming into a tattoo shop with a product for tattoo artists that replaced your green soap for the most part, or not really for the most part, but it replaced your green soap. It gave you a safer feeling. However, he didn't have any tattoos. You know, he used to work for Pfizer.
Yeah.
So it was tough for him, you know, to make that that connection with guys.
Well, you know, he's developed products for he's got some products over in the UFC space. You know, he's got some soaps out there that are for fighters, you know, for recovery and stuff like that. And
I thought he was making something for cleaning the mats at gyms like that too, so that it would cut down on ringworm and bacteria.
Yep, he's got stuff like that. He's got some things in the like eye drop space, you know, for different kinds of eye problems and things of that sort. But that guy's all over the place. He's really smart, and he's knows a lot of things about a lot of things, and especially in the medical space. So
I got along with Scott good. I think he made products that were good for us all across. Well, he brought us products. I don't know what his development with him was, but he was involved in bringing them to us for sure. And then they made a push for a while. And I think that other people they didn't want to fall in love with it. I notice when I use it that my tattoos are more ready for a camera, for a picture.
Yeah, it takes all that redness out. all
Yes.
the redness, all the swelling. It's the best way to tell, the way I always tell people, it's like it's a mast cell inhibitor. So basically what that does is, like if you fall on the sidewalk and you get a scrape or something on your knee, or you cut your finger, whatever, the first thing that happens is, your white blood cells react to that trauma, and then they come up to the surface of the skin and they're like, what the fuck's going on up here? We got to figure
Mhm.
out what's attacking the body, and we got to shut it down. And that's what causes swelling and bleeding and redness, is those blood cells reacting to whatever trauma's on the skin. So cleanse, what that does is goes in there and tricks the blood cells, basically
He says it's all
masks
right.
it masks the trauma. Basically, it tells the blood cells, hey, there's nothing going on, everything is
There's
fine.
nothing to see here. It's like a line of cops.
Yeah, so you don't get all those adverse reactions that you get when you normally traumatize the skin, or cause
Nothing to
injury
see
to
here.
yourself
Move
or whatever.
along. Move along.
100% exactly the way it is. Yeah, so
And that's
that's
science.
that is the most layman's terms that I can apply to the science behind it, because it's very complicated
Yeah.
product.
I toured the
I don't know.
facility once. I'm sure you've been there, and they gave me, and they make other products there too. It was way beyond. I was a fish out of water, kind of. I met with the owner of it too. He has 0 tattoos. Super old guy, loves dogs.
Right. Yep. So I don't try to immerse myself too deep into the scientific parts of it. I just know they use it in the hospitals. It's a mast cell inhibitor, and it tricks the blood cells in your body into thinking that there's no trauma going on, and therefore you get no redness, you don't get the swelling, and that's what makes it such a great product. So yeah, that's all I need to know to be passionate enough about it.
Now you're getting passionate about ink, though, too. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I'm passionate about anything that has to do with tattooing. If I see an opportunity to make a product better than what's out there, then I'll engage a little bit. And if I see opportunity there, then I'll engage a little bit further. And it's that's just always been my approach to things. And I'm not saying if there's anything wrong with the inks out there, because there are certainly inks that have been out in the industry for a very, very long time. They're tested and they're true, and they've withheld and they
Yeah.
withstood the test of time. I don't have anything bad to say about the other ink companies. I can just tell you as an artist the things that I don't particularly like and the products that I use. And that's the same thing that drove me to create a stencil product. I used stencil stuff for years and years and years. For a long time, it was a great
Mhm.
product. And then all of a sudden, when I started pushing a 5 or 6 hour mark on a tattoo, it wasn't a great product anymore. It just wasn't holding up past that point in
Right.
time. And so the most frustrating thing to me as an artist was having to draw back in a design after I lost my stencil or bloodline or whatever, option you chose to use. And I don't want to do that anymore. So I this was like, man, there has to be a better way to do this. There has got to be a better product.
What were
And if there's
doing realistic tattoos mostly then, were you, or were you doing neo-trad
no,
or
just
something?
a lot of more of new school shit, like graffiti type shit, or like just big, bright, bold, colorful shit. And most time it'd be on bigger pieces, like on the back, or I don't tattoo fast, and I wipe a lot, so I'm hard on stencils as it is.
Oh,
So
better use some Electrum on that fucking paper towel, bro.
well, I haven't tattooed now since 2015, so I've been out of it for a little while. But
Okay. James got me being nicer to the skin. As rough as James is on every other aspect of his life, somehow he's kind of gentle on the skin.
well, I don't dry wipe. Very early in my career, I learned about dry wiping just from getting tattoos. So I never did that to anyone. I was never that merciless to my clients. So I always made sure my towels were very, very wet. But I used a
I
lot of
don't.
green soap in my wash bottles too, and that really deteriorates the stencil. I'll circle us back around to ink. So
Thank you.
yeah, nothing negative to say about the other ink brands out there. I just I've always had issues with consistency, really, one way or another. Ink's too thick or it's too thin, and that was the that was the main that was my main problem with other ink brands. It's just like I never could find the perfect consistent ink to my liking. And then I wanted to always kind of do something with tattoo inks, but I just never really wanted to venture into that space just because, I mean, I'm assuming that you know a lot about the back end of the business, and when I say the back end of the business, I mean the part of the business where people manufacture and sell products, and that side of the business, not the
I
side
don't
of the
know a
business
lot
where you're
about
on
it, but
most
I
of the
mean, I've
time.
been doing this a long time. I've got a lot of friends that have been in that industry, like yourself.
Yeah, well, it's a lot different than on that side of the chair, and that side of the chair that you're on is it has its problems in its own right, like obviously, but like
Yeah.
on this side of the business, when you say the word like when you say words like cutthroat, whatever, I mean, there's a lot of that on this side of the business.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're dealing with larger amounts of money.
yeah, and I never entered the ink space because just out of respect for the people that were already in it. Really, I mean, I've known Tramp at Eternal for quite a few years. I've got to this day, to the day I no longer know that man, I'll have deep respect for that guy. Probably more respect for that guy than anybody in the whole industry, in my personal experience. I've never had bad dealings with that guy, and I've never known him to do anyone dirty. And I've never heard anybody say that he's done them dirty. So I have a lot of respect for that guy. He's always had his, regardless of what I've done in my tattoo career and in my business, the guy's never turned a shoulder to me. He's always picked up the phone when I call, or he answers a text if I text him. So, and even when I came out with inks, he's still my friend, so, and I still have respect.
He didn't tell you, well, I guess that's where we draw the line. Now we're competing.
No, I mean, he's actually helped me out along the way, like he's offered me help and advice and talked me through some things. So, that says a lot about that man's character right there. Just the fact that he owns one of the biggest ink companies in the world. He still, held his hand out in friendship and offered advice and help to me. And they didn't tell me not to start an ink company at all. He just told me that I might not be knowing what I'm in for, that I don't really have a realistic idea of what it's going to cost to start an ink company. And, he told me things like that.
How has that turned out? He's probably been right. I haven't known him to be wrong. I've worked for him.
Well, I mean, if anybody's going to know, he's going to know. I never thought he was lying to me. I think my expectations in the beginning probably were a little unrealistic. I thought I could start an ink company for a lot less than what I really could. And he told me the number, and I was like, man, there's no way. It can't be that much. It can't be that much to start an ink company. Yeah, sure in the hell was.
I bet it's almost over $1 million.
It's not. Well, I mean, it depends on how deep you want to go. I mean, there are strategic ways that you can do things to save money. So, I mean, it didn't quite cost that much, but it wasn't cheap by any.
It's not. Well, how have you been doing it over a year?
Yeah, selling it just over a year, but we've been in the process of the inks for about 2.5 years now, from start to where we're at now.
Right on. So yeah, you're all right. Then I guess I'm only aware of it as soon as I got a sample. I'm slow to pick up on a lot of trends. So,
well, I mean, we really started heavily pushing it back in. When was the first Philadelphia show? February?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that or March, or the end of March, right?
Whenever the first Philadelphia show was when we like unveiled, pulled the curtain back on Electrum Ink at the Philly show. So, however long ago that was, is when we really started pushing it heavy. Before that, we were just kind of dropping teasers here on social media. We had, obviously had it out in artist hands, trying it out and giving us feedback, and redoing things here and there for quite a while before that. But as far as for hitting the mainstream and taking it out to the shows, that was at the first Philadelphia show. So maybe what was that, like a few months ago, 6 months ago, maybe something. I think the first Philadelphia show was back in October or November. Actually, it was the winter show.
Oh, okay, right on. So you've been doing it a while, but it's past its startup phase.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not going anywhere, man. I'm 100%. I'm feeling pretty good that it's gonna withstand. It's gonna hold out. I wasn't too sure in the beginning, especially with all the stupid regulations in Europe and all that stuff. But I feel like, and just
you shipping overseas then or not?
United Kingdom still. I mean, they're not part of EU, so they're not being regulated like the rest of the European Union is right now. We can still sell ink in the United Kingdom.
Okay. Yeah, they're cutting down on like all the carrier for the most part, right?
Yeah, that's most of it.
And by carrier, I mean the liquid
that
allows the pigment to flow into the skin. They're saying we don't like this.
Glycerin, propylene glycol, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, now propylene glycol, that's usually going to be considered. People are going to think of it as antifreeze, but that's a common ingredient in most and all inks. Am I wrong?
It's a common ingredient in a lot of things. You can pick up if you walk around your house right now and pick up 12 random objects in your bathroom, you're probably going to find propylene glycol in a few of them at least.
Right.
And they use it for laxative in livestock. You can go pick it up at the feed stores. They use it for all kinds of stuff.
Now, is that good though? It is part of your ink?
Oh, there is some propylene glycol. We use that in some of our inks. Yeah.
The orange.
Most of the ink companies use that in.
Why is the orange
as one of their carriers
the stinkiest ink in the world? If I pour an orange, I know I got orange out.
Hey,
I'm not wrong, right? Like that shit just smells. You're like, oh, that's orange.
All brands of ink.
I think just about every brand I've ever encountered with orange.
In particular stink. What about browns?
I haven't noticed it as much. I don't really use too many browns because, I'll make my own a lot of times if I'm going to go brown.
I saw Eternal just came out with scratch and sniff ink.
What? Are you kidding me? Man,
I mean, it was on their Instagram on April 1st, so I don't know if it's a real thing or not. It was like one of their zombie colors or something, like their rotting flesh one. It was like, wait till you smell this ink or something. So it was pretty funny. It was like ink that stinks or something like that. That's terrible marketing, but it was funny.
Well, yeah, April 1st there. What's your next deal with any business here? You just going to keep pushing the ink and grow, or are you looking at other horizons?
So we're obviously still growing the ink brand. So I think we just last week we finalized another 18 colors, I think. So we're in production on those now. So obviously just keep growing the palette. But we're doing a lot of set, that's kind of the reason why I ultimately decided to do inks. I didn't want to go against the grain for a few years. I had been on the fence about it for a few years because I didn't want to go against the grain. And then, I'm still in touch with reality for the most part. I don't feel like I've reached that point in my life to where I'm out of touch with trends and reality and stuff so much. So I'm really tuned into the modern day tattooer, and I'm one that realizes that there's a constant revolving door in this industry. There's artists going out, artists coming in, and the guys that are coming in, I don't feel like a lot of the ink companies really have. They're kind of staying in touch with the older demographic, and
I got you, yeah.
And I'm more in tune with the younger demographic and the tattooers that are coming into the space now, because they're going to be.
You're cool with the kids.
Well, you got to be. I mean, if you want to, you got to stay relevant in business. That's the main thing. And I don't think a lot of businesses in the tattoo space really work at staying relevant. So,
right. Well, most of us spend all our days complaining about these damn millennials. Shake our fist, right?
Yeah, I've had my problem with a few of them myself.
These millennial tattoo artists come in here, tells me those aren't his pronouns. What the fuck?
Who sings this song? I just heard it on the radio today. I don't know what kind of music you listen to, but it's something about the cancel culture, and it's like a heavy metal song. I need to look it up later because it was pretty good, actually.
Right on. Yeah, the cancel culture. I don't know. I feel like cancel culture has always been, though. I don't think it's too much new. I think, you know, we as humans are just lazy and greedy, and we're more interested in that salacious shit than we are in working and taking the time to find optimistic stuff, you know.
I mean, obviously cancel culture has been a thing. Let's talk about like Salem witch trials, right? That's a huge cancel culture phenomenon right there, bro.
Yeah, they were canceling some. And throughout time, I mean, to me, when I was a kid, I remember they were having boycotts. And here there was a place that was, you know, we're in Flint, Michigan here, big union town, or it was until they all left. You just can't buy enough American, I guess, to keep the business in America. But that was a big union town, so the grocery store there was like a competing non-union grocery store, and everybody would get around and try and boycott that so that it would go out of business, so that, you know, they could have their cancel culture party. And I don't know, it was so much different. Same with like dolphins and tuna, right? Didn't cancel culture get safer fishing practices?
Yeah.
Well, cancel culture got rid of the draft, I guess. I don't.
They try to, right? I think it takes a freaking million men to move a mountain, you know, and I don't ever see anything that's as big as a million men. So I don't really see too much shit changing.
What do you mean? Oh, you thought it was a real change of any.
Right, a real change of any. Yeah, there's never going to be any substantial changes until we're all extinct.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep on canceling shit until the day we would just get mad at the ones that canceled that we didn't like. But I like Keurig coffee machines. Wait a second, we got rid of those? What about my Peloton? We don't like Pelotons anymore? Oh, man. What am I going to do?
Right.
But I don't know. We're all fucking sheep. We can't live without someone telling us what's, you know, what's right or wrong.
It's the fucking truth, bro.
Do it like that.
Man, I sit here all the time, and every day I say, man, I'm not going to touch social media a day. I'm staying off of that shit. I never can fucking do it. I never can do it, dude. Never.
I found the answer for me.
It's
dealing with it's I get involved with support on any one of my technical devices in my house, and just I enjoy the banter that we get between the two of us going back and forth, you know.
Dude, now that it's record, dude. I would love to listen to a conversation between a tech support person and Kyle Dunbar.
Oh no, because it gets bad. Like, who is it? Someone I swore at one today, and she's like, "There will not be profanity on this." I was like, "Well, I didn't." I said, "Fucking bullshit," right? And she says, "We will not have any profanity." And I says, "Now, what did I say wrong?" I understand. Okay, I'm not going to say the other word, but is bullshit a swear word? I always like to clarify, because I feel like if I get, I don't know, it's really just because I'm being a dick, and it really entertains me.
Right.
If you've given me an inch, I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to keep putting my foot in that door. You know, it's like, because is bullshit really a swear word? Okay. And now it's a question. So it's not the angry offense. And they always have the right to hang up. They often do. But, you know, I'm willing to let them have to go over with their superior that day. You know, they got to perform well. I don't know. They're poor jobs. Just hassling me. Just give me my clan node points, guys. I work hard for those things.
It's a real fucking problem. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said the S word.
Yeah, you get them banned for sure. I swear so much. That's really the biggest problem. Is usually it's an exercise with me not swearing, and then when I do finally swear, I really just want to push the envelope as far as I can. Because like if I'd be like, well, if I said Jesus Christ on a dildo pogo stick, that's not swearing. But are you going to hang up still?
You're right.
Click. You're like, oh, that's offensive. Well, you didn't say offensive. Listen, lady. You got it. You said I had no profanity. Now we're just talking about something that might offend you. No. Yeah, that's honestly, I think that's the gist of my day. I don't do the social media so much. I hope that doesn't come as a surprise to anybody listening. It's like, I talk to Kyle on social media all the time. You're actually talking to a team of people. I hire a very, very, they work in shifts, 3 different hours, 3 different shifts in the day. And, and they're constantly making posts on my behalf, and they think of witty things. And they do come to me and they're like, Kyle, what would you say here? And then I say something, and they're like, that's not witty enough. And then they quote somebody else. Or sometimes I come up with, sometimes I'm shooting gold, so they'll get my input, but that ain't me. That's like I said, that's a team.
Yeah. How much is your media changed really since you've been on Inkmaster? You've spent, I mean, obviously a ton of more engagement there. How much of a pain in the ass did that become?
People were always reaching out to me and asking pretty silly questions, which are all the same that every tattoo artist gets, but then they really wanted me to be a dick so they could respond back sometimes, like,
Right.
as I seen one today that is just like the most common kind of question that people will ask, like, hey man, do you have time? And like, I got this in my thread right now, like, in text message. I hope I'm not outing somebody or myself, but then it says it's like, hey man, you got time? I write them back dates I have, and they're like, and then they write me back, yeah, because I wanted to get in with you pretty soon. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, dude, why are you being a dick? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Because you're supposed to follow the procedure. It follows the procedure or it doesn't get the tattoo. Respond to the email. If you accidentally got my text message, it ain't the best way to get a hold of me. It's actually worse. I don't even respond to text messages. But it blew up on comments, and not really with hate so much, but it did blow up with like trying to keep in contact with enough people that if you didn't, and you made any outreach that you did would suddenly turn to like a neglect of that out. You know what I mean? So if you're like, dude, I think you're awesome, you're like, oh man, thanks a lot for that. And then I never respond to them again. Right. But then they wrote 3 other threads that, one day I'm going through a million fucking things, and I see like they progressively get angrier until they're like, fine, I guess this is the way you treat your fans.
I'm gonna go like somebody else now.
Yeah.
I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah, I'm no longer. And I don't know, some people will get really offended. One guy was really annoying to me. I had my headphones on, which is something I do now when I tattoo, because everybody is annoying when I tattoo, and I'm really doing something that requires my attention. And if I don't have the headphones on, they seem to like, they always say the same thing, like, hey, hate to bug you. So sorry, I see you're tattooing. Hey, Kyle, I see you're in the middle of drawing a line on somebody with an indelible marker that will make a mistake or not, depending on this very moment. But do you have a second for me?
Damn, I do that to you all the time, dude.
Well, I expect it with you. Yeah, that's why I hate you so much, Rob. You're a fucking dick to me. Or they'll go by and they're like, you're doing somebody's granddaughter's eyeball in a portrait or something, and they're like, what is it? Me and Emily were talking about it. They're like, all right, 5 minutes, machines down, no more touches. I got you. I said that thing. Like, oh man, that's original, man. That's good. That's a funny one. That's funny. Because it's so one time this guy gets my attention. I got headphones on, but I can hear him. He's like, Kyle. And I'm like literally doing a line, and I'm not good at line work. I don't do lines. So this is something kind of rare for me. I'm already in rare territory. And I look up after I get done with the line, and I said, yeah, sir, like that. I try to be amiable. And he says, you got a second? And I didn't. So I kind of just like shrugged and was like, no. He stormed off so angry. Like fine. I see you are a dick. You're just like on TV, huh?
Exactly.
I don't know. People today, and certainly it's personified probably in that what we call cancel culture, but I think it's just culture. I think people are just whiny little bitches. Me too, you know?
Yeah, we all are. We all are.
I always say I can't complain, but if you listen long enough, it's all you're going to hear.
Right. Do you write? Do you write a lot?
No, never. I play Call of Duty to shut the voices up.
You should write. I think you should write. I bet you could come up with some pretty interesting books.
Thank God now we don't. I do have a sitcom I did write of Joseph. You know, what about Jesus? Or no, Everybody Loves Jesus. I wrote a sitcom.
Yeah. Dude, is this the same thing that we talked about before?
We've probably talked about it. Yeah, I wrote that as a sitcom, and I also wrote a movie of sorts, or a series but they're all on religious based stuff, and I don't know how quick anybody is to pick it up, but I can talk about it, and that kind of copyrights it, I think, doesn't it? Or does it make everybody else able to steal my idea?
Man, I think I don't talk about anything anymore because I found that there's loopholes in everything. So it's like, even if it does copyright it, they'll find somebody's got enough money to hire some lawyer that can prove it doesn't copyright it, and so then it's like, what the fuck's the point of all that?
Right.
So now I just keep my mouth shut about everything.
For manifestation is like this thing that kind of keeps being a theme on the show here, but I also doubt in it because I'm going to say at least 15 years now, I've been talking about a way to make the best trash can in the world, one that removes the air from underneath the trash bag when you put it in. Simple.
Oh, good idea.
I've got it. I've talked about the mechanisms to do it. And there was a person who had a patent on such a thing. However, it was done wasn't broad enough patent. Maybe it was broad enough to stop people from doing it, but it involved too many moving parts and stuff, and it could never really be effective because it would cost so much. Who's going to buy $100 trash can that sucks the air out? But and other people point out real succinctly that you can just drill holes in it and you're pretty good, like you drill a couple of holes and yeah, I guess they're right, but at the same time, I've been saying this for so long and describing it in detail, and no one's made it, that I don't know if I believe in manifest destiny stuff, because shouldn't it have happened?
I think, Kyle, you could make something like that for probably less than $10, man. You should go do that.
Oh yeah, dude. I even went so far as to have somebody who makes models, a friend of mine. He makes plastic models or whatever with some kind of laser thing or something, those new laser printers, what he got. And I designed, I showed him. Yeah. He put the holes in the wrong spot. That's all. I got it. I got the thing up here. It was just to see if proof of concept, and he put the holes in the wrong spot. And that's as far as I got with it there too.
Well, what do you got to do? You just basically got to put like a computer exhaust fan in there pointing out
too much money.
A little switch, right?
No, you make it like you see, I'm still waiting for someone to just steal it. Take it. This is yours. This is universe. I just want a good trash can. All right. So you got a 5-gallon bucket, and you take 2 5-gallon buckets, you put them on top of each other. You pull the 5-gallon bucket out, it's stuck because there's a suction there, So really you just take a round or a square and you put another square in it. The one has holes in it. Right. And then you have something that stops it when you pull it up high enough. So you push it down, you put the trash can in, and then you lift it up. You following me?
I got it.
Now,
so yeah,
it probably should have some, and it should have some weight on the bottom, because of without that weight on the bottom, then it's going to possibly tip over more easily, because now it's up about 6 inches to possibly a foot, right? There's other ways you could make it with valves so that you could push it back down once you got it up. But why? I don't know. You figure it out. It ain't me. I lack ambition. I just want a trash can that doesn't have that stupid ass fucking billow in there, and it's cheap enough. Like, even when you go talking about weight, we're talking about logistics now. So it shouldn't be something that has to be weighted that I couldn't weight myself. You know what I mean? Maybe Americans don't do that, but I got rocks in my driveway. I'll fucking just let me fill up an area. You know, we'll put a bladder in there for water.
Yeah.
That's going to leak. All right. Never mind. Actually, what am I saying? I'm already thinking of far too more than the universe makes it. That's what I'm putting out there. And then when it makes it for me, I'll have proof that we live in the matrix, you know?
Yeah. We could talk about manufacturing. I don't want to tell you all this stuff, but I'm telling you, bro, you can make that thing with a fan in it probably for like, you could manufacture that thing for less than $10 for sure.
Well, if the fan ran two ways, think about this. When I go to pull the trash out and it's running backwards, that's going to really help filling up that annulus space now with air, or creating a pressure. You know, you get rid of the vacuum that's there. Now you can pull it out.
You just have it on a switch, so you only turn the fan on when you're putting a new trash bag in, so it just sucks that thing right down into the trash can. Then you flip the switch off.
Well, wouldn't it be handy, though, if you're having a hard time getting that bag out because someone stuffed it full, to turn that switch on backwards and run that fan backwards?
Oh, I don't know. Probably don't have that kind of power. I was talking like a computer, like the same kind of fan that's in your PlayStation. Or, you know,
right. Yeah, I guess those are probably pretty cheap.
Yeah, I think you could. If you bought, I mean, hell, if you wouldn't go to manufacture that and only make a few of them. So, I mean,
we keep on talking about this me and we, like, no, not me. I tattoo and I run a podcast. I barely run a podcast.
You just go to these places where they manufacture these things and you send them a drawing of what you want to do, and then they'll send you a prototype. It's not that complicated, man. You don't, it takes very little of your time. It just takes your money. That's all you really got to worry about.
Right on. You think anybody else buys that? You need a trash can? Like, then I got one trash can. They're like, there you go, man. And now I got to find someone that loves it like I do.
Well, let's see. People bought rocks and called them pets before. People bought little troll dolls with funky haircuts. What other kind of stupid shit have people bought?
I feel like I just run into somebody who just started collecting those little trolls.
For real, you did? I think I think they made a comeback, you know? Like, I really think they have.
Of
and
course.
Then you got some people that'll spend $5 million on a
Pokemon.
Card.
Fucking idiot.
So
you play Pokemon Go?
I don't play that stuff at all. I'm only in it from a collector standpoint, investment. That's it. No. But I think you can find plenty of people that'll buy your trash can for sure.
They'll buy my trash.
Hey, you can take that thing on Shark Tank. There you go. You're done. Done deal, man. You don't have to tattoo anymore if you didn't want to. It'd be strictly by choice now.
I'd never be able to go on Shark Tank because there's no way I wouldn't start bringing up that Kevin dude's fucking homicide shit. Be like, I know you was driving the boat, motherfucker. Pin that on your wife. Killing people in Lake Michigan. That's my hometown.
Killer Kevin.
I don't know. The world's a weird place, man. I'm friends with somebody who was just hanging out with Hulk Hogan and Dennis Rodman this last weekend. It just blows my mind that, yes. He was they invited him to the induction of The Undertaker to the Hall of Fame, the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Really?
I showed you those videos of me and that in the Ric Flair shit, right? I know I did.
You did.
Oh my God. Did I not show you the videos?
For the record, and I'm probably shouldn't even publicly admit this, but I'm a pretty big wrestling fan. I have been for a long time, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, there's no shame in your game, brother.
None at all.
There's no shame in the wrestling game. My friend Steve, he does it for fortune and fame. He's one of the most dynamic motherfuckers. I just had him on the podcast. He's one of those dynamic motherfuckers I ever met, and they just invited his ass out to the Wrestling Hall of Fame because his passion for wrestling is so fucking, it's huge. Like, but yeah, he was hanging out in Clearwater with Hulk Hogan, and Dennis Rodman stops by. I guess he's got like a tour bus. It's just like wrapped out like it says Dennis Rodman. I don't even know what he does. Filling stadium somewhere or something.
Well,
and he came out.
If you're Dennis Rodman, you probably don't have to do shit, dude. You just ride around that. He probably spent the last bit of money he had in his life on that fucking bus. Now he just drives that fucker around, and anywhere Dennis Rodman goes, he probably gets people to pay for his shit wherever he goes. He doesn't have to do shit.
Well, that's what I hear about Michael Jordan. I hear he don't reach for the check never. You think Rodman's riding that Chicago Bulls fame too, huh?
Why wouldn't you? I think Rodman's still a pretty big deal when people see him out in public. He's just one of those dynamic people that just draws attention to himself no matter what. So,
dude, he made it out of. He's one of the few people to ever make it out of North Korea. Right? I'm not wrong here. Like that's a feat. I mean, I get the whole premise, but I'm telling you, if Kim Jong-il invited me out to North Korea, I'm not thinking that it's a guarantee I come back. Right?
I'm thinking I'm going.
I don't think I'm going. I really don't think. I'm sure he showed him a great time, but like, it seems crazy. And how that. See, if I met Dennis Rodman too, I have a fear that I would. How do you not bring up that shit? You know what I mean? And then Dennis Rodman's heard it before. I ain't the first asshole he's met. So he's going to be ready to beat motherfucker's ass. He's like, oh, you're going to go there? Talking about my boy. Kim's cool, motherfucker. We shot skeet together. Skeet, motherfucker. Whatever. I don't know. And then beat my ass. He's a big motherfucker, too. Sometimes I feel safer in my house. Yeah. You know what? Listen to this, though. This is so in playing the Kevin Bacon game. So I haven't, fuck Dave Navarro, but I have braided his hair while we were in footy pajamas. And he fucked Carmen Electra. And Carmen Electra fucked Dennis Rodman. And now my boy Steve's hanging out with him. And I was in a Ric Flair robe that I'm pretty sure Steve had sex with his wife in. I don't know. Somehow I'm saying it's all together. I showed you this, amazing.
Right? I don't think you did, man.
I'm going to have to. I'm surprised. We must not have had much time because I'm pulling my phone out at any chance I can to show people this. This guy, it's 41 pounds of purple sequins and feathered boa with wizard sleeves, says the Nature Boy Ric Flair. It's from WrestleMania. He's done appearances on all his shows in it, styling and profiling, limousine riding, jet flying. It's getting hard to keep these gators on the ground, motherfucking road.
That dude's crazy, man.
You're a wrestling nut, huh?
I've been watching wrestling since WrestleMania 3, I think, pretty religiously. Yeah, my dad got me into that when I was a kid.
So you missed the slam heard around the world, though, because it wasn't in 2. Well, that was when Andre got slammed. That was in 2, though, wasn't it?
No, that was 3, I believe, right? I think that was the first one I watched.
You were there for the big one.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think that's what really got my passion going for wrestling, man. Probably that exact moment in time when the big slam happened.
Were you in the stadium or where were you at home?
No, yeah, at home. I've only been I'm not like a super wrestling geek like that, man. Like I don't.
Oh, you're wrestling geek enough to have some pay-per-view. Well, that was a lot about locale, I think. I think there was some friends of mine though that didn't they have a viewing on the Silver Dome or something, or was it?
It was at the Silver Dome.
Oh, so it was around my hometown. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably why my boy Steve's so into it. He was probably there. Or maybe he's one of those where like all his friends went and then they just made him really about it. And so now he owns the largest wrestling collection in the world.
Yeah, to be honest with you, man, I don't really know what the draw is anymore. I've kind of questioned that since I was about 30 years old, I guess. Like what's the draw to this, and why do I keep watching this all the time? But really, I just think it was just
I
something
think
that
you
my
were a
dad
little
liked doing.
gay, and you like those sweaty men in tights.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could very much be. I think about that sometimes too. Don't think that hasn't entered my mind. I'm like, is
Am I
that what
gay
the draw
because I
is?
like wrestling?
I was like, is that the draw? I don't know. Let me go shave my legs and see how I feel about it.
Yeah, I keep on trying to figure out with most people if they watch around the penis or around the penis, like, do you block the penis out of your head when you're watching porn, or how does that work? I'm just curious.
I actually admire him quite a bit, to be honest with you. I'm always kind of like, wow, that guy's got a really nice package, man. He's a pretty fucking stout dude.
That's a pretty penis. All right, before this turns into a conversation with Robbie Ripoll, let's get off of penises. Oh shit, did I just say that? Robbie Ripoll ate his own penis.
He what?
He ate his own penis. I didn't know if you knew. Sometimes maybe this is the kind of stuff that gets out but yes, Robbie.
Like in a yoga position kind of a thing?
Nope, like digested. Like,
I have to go a little bit more into detail with that one.
Dude,
I don't know that story.
Robbie Ripoll had so much penis when he was growing up that they cut some of it off on purpose just to save his girlfriends the pain. And he decided to flambe and eat it. No, he had it pierced with a large gauge needle. And so when it comes out, there's a little bit of his penis skin,
Oh, got you.
And they blew it out of the needle. And they showed it to him and laughed, I guess. And then he ate his own fucking penis like a weirdo. I mean, not like a weirdo that just got pierced. I guess that's kind of weird too. But like, really to step it up a notch, But anyways, that's all we need to bring into penises.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I love, you know what? Somebody needs to do a podcast just about stories like this from the tattoo community, because I've heard a bunch of good ones about James Bond, and I've heard a bunch of good ones about other people, and I'm just like, dude, this shit needs to be in a book or on a podcast somewhere, dude.
What a danger. Great. Some of these things that we know and are privy to as we tell the story, we then all of a sudden we have to be like, oh wait, who's around? Because like sometimes
you might have to change some names and things of that sort. You don't know. That's the way you usually would do things like that.
It is unfortunate that some of our friends lead lives that I think other people in their lives may not know or want to know. Like, I don't know if my grandma needed to know that story. I thought it was really funny too. And in context, yeah, that's funny. We go to the bar, you tell that story, I laugh, you put it on your podcast, my mom listens.
Yeah, you just don't ever think those people are listening, so you think you're always in the clear, and then all of a sudden you're not. And you're like, oops.
I don't think I'm finding no, because that's this weird part about doing this podcast and having it's gaining some popularity, and inside of my community, it's probably gaining the fastest. So then I go to one of these tattoo shows and people are like, dude, I'm listening to the podcast. And I immediately like, feel like, yeah, I don't like you knowing that much about me. It's one thing to see me mad on national TV and have the worst day of my life, and we share that. But now I have my internal thoughts exposed for everyone to know.
Right. You're actually a real person, you mean? Yeah, I think you just got to embrace that. I don't really give a fuck what people think about me attitude, and then just live your life the way you want to live it, dude. My rule is if you're not hurting kids and you're not fucking beating up women, fucking animals, whatever you're into, dude. Whose fucking position is it to judge? It's like, there are some things that certainly should be taboo, but then for the most part, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if you like to sleep next to dead people or whatever the fuck you do? I don't fucking know.
So you are a fan of Logan Paul.
in the only in the Pokeverse.
Not in the Suicide Forest verse, huh?
Nah.
I don't know. I'm one of them assholes who never lets people. I don't know if it's like I almost play it until it's not even funny on purpose, I guess. But we've all moved on, but I'm not ready to move on. Same with Kevin Leary out there killing people on Lake Michigan, and fucking Caitlyn Jenner going ahead and driving people through intersections.
Dude,
Candy says we don't cut it off. You push it inside, actually. So.
You can have your opinion, bro. I'll never tell you that your opinions are wrong. I don't. Like I said, I don't.
If I push it inside, am I gonna have is my vagina gonna be too small? Am I gonna have to date small guys?
No, just go date Robbie. He'll help you out.
Yeah, he's only got a little bit of his dick left. Keeps eating it. What? I wouldn't want to eat it. What if you decided you developed a taste for it? And you're like, oh man, ever since I've had that penis, all I've wanted to do is saute my dick.
Does that make him a cannibal?
Yes. Like the weirdest kind. Like he didn't even do it after a plane crash on a desert island or nothing. And I'd eat my foot first. He did it way backwards. He had his penis cut before he got his foot chopped off. So, all right, Robbie, I apologize about that one. That one might be a little. I don't know if that nub's that sensitive.
Dude. You're not even wrong.
We only roast the ones we love, damn it.
Hey, that's what Troy should start doing at his shows. He should start doing tattoo roasts. Get an artist up on the stage and roast them at every show.
He did the he did that roast for, do you remember Guy Aitchison had one in Chicago and Troy ran that one. It was fucking awesome. I still got the wine bottle. It was kind of funny. It was also a disaster at points. Jack Rudy was funny as shit. Two other guys were funny. Chris Longo was boring as fuck. Jack Rudy got up and was like, it's a fucking roast, god damn. Everybody wants to just fucking tell a bunch of stories and fucking suck guys' dick. He stinks. How about that? Nobody wants to talk about how the motherfucker stinks. His Hannah did a good job. She made fun of she just kind of took us through their life growing up, because they come from Michigan, go around Chicago. And was it somebody, the best joke I think of the night was something, Guy Aitchison does biomechanical work and he's known for that, of course. Hannah Aitchison, his sister, was at the time on LA Inc. And so she was really popular and famous. And she actually was now beginning to shine brighter than he did, even though everybody knew him. In our world, the whole world was knowing her. So I think it was Jack Root. No, it wasn't. It was one of the two guys. But he's one of the guys there said, Hannah Aitchison is known for her pinup model tattoos to be so exquisite and precise that she will even hire models and photographers under special lighting conditions so that she can capture the exact piece that she needs to recreate for her client's tattoo. Guy Aitchison, however, instead just shines a flashlight on his words and takes a picture. Anyways, and I asked Troy about doing them, and I guess I think he lost his ass somehow on it. I think there was a lot of people that I don't know if they stole all the silverware. I think Troy had a bad taste in his mouth for roasts as a result of that one, which I always remembered as awesome time. But I think everybody got in and just ate the food for free, and then the hotel bill, they didn't pay their bill, and the hotel bill just turned it over to Troy. They all wrote it off on imaginary rooms or something. I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, I could see why you wouldn't want to do that again.
Troy's been through some stuff like that where you're like, oh yeah, you guys are all my friends. Appreciate it.
No, but I mean, hell, he could easily just just bring like one of the ink masters up on a stage. You know, make it part of the instead of like having a fucking sideshow at everyone, do a roast at one of them or whatever. Do that like the bigger one or something like that.
We did roast in Cincinnati. We roasted Marshall, and then that's actually how me and Greg Piper met, because I tore Marshall up, man. I fucking had a set that was like a comedian. It was good, man. I worked on it, right? Like I worked on it. I worked on my timing. I worked in the mirror. I fucking I did it in front of 13-year-old kids, because I figured if I could make them even smirk, I might be onto something. You know, if I could make them laugh, I knew I had gold, because those kids didn't give a fuck about nothing. But at any rate, I killed it that night, and then they invited me out to DC to make fun of James and Josh Payne, actually. But those were I don't know who ran those shows. They weren't Troy, and I think they were just made so, like, maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should just be like, call a bar around and plan an after party Sunday night, and we're just going to roast a couple of artists. We're going to get a dais up there, you know, and have our dinner. And because that's the way I think the other one kind of went. I think the hotel might have given us a spot for it in Greg Piper's show. So Greg probably organized it, but the other one was a bar outside of the venue. And I think it was just being done for Marshall's birthday or something. Everybody's like, you know, hey, let's just fuck with Marshall, because he's getting older. So, you know, that's the way we like to treat the icons in our life.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be such a fun time. It'd be fun.
I'm with it. So again, manifestation. We're gonna just manifest it. Somebody will help us do it. How many villain art shows you do a year?
Man, I'll tell you, since COVID, I've really not doing a whole lot since we've gotten back into the circuit. I've done just the bigger ones now. I'm
economy, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm
just at home buying shoes online.
No, man, I actually sold a bunch of my shoes. I just got rid of a bunch. In fact, I'm sitting here staring at 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pairs that haven't sold that are still online for sale. You want to buy some? I got some 33s. You like Jordan 33s? You probably wear the same size shoe as me, don't you?
10.5. What is it? 10.5 to 11.5, depending on the make. But
yeah, all my Jordans are 11s.
I probably fit them.
I got some 33s. You probably look pretty slick in those. You like the 33s?
Candy spends too much on my feet as it is. I don't like any of them. Like, I'm a Ken doll. I'm just, you know, Candy lays out my clothes. It's sad, really. My whole life, really. If anybody knew, it's sad how little I fucking, dude, we'll go to the shows. It's worse there, actually. I mean, I know how to dress myself, obviously. But at the convention, Candy always does put my clothes out for me. And I think about it just like a little kid every morning, because I'll be like, I'll go to the bed and there's no pile of my clothes. And then she'll tell me as I'm putting on my shoes, she'll be like, nope, the other pair. I'm like, oh, you planned this whole thing, huh? Right on. I'm wearing the Flints today. Oh, don't I look cute? Oh, we're matching. Even better. Right on. Popsy twins. Everybody knows we're together. How cute. But yeah, I love, I'm one of them. I don't like control. It's too much responsibility. So, like, if somebody says, Kyle, you look like an idiot, I'm like, blame my wife. Does that make sense? I think it's her fault. Anyways, so we're gonna keep how many colors you already said how many colors we're up to, but reiterate for me, because I didn't pay attention. 60. Okay, good.
There's 60 now, and then we just finalized another 18. So,
right
but yeah, we're trying to build some pretty
78. I think that makes.
Well, we're just adding more and more, so we're trying to make some pretty unique colors, just different tones than what's been out. Like I said, I don't like to read.
Well, what else is out? What else is left to be? I mean, everything. Oh,
No, not quite. I mean, we're targeting a different demographic, so we're making. I don't know I don't know how much you tuned into really what Electrum is really doing these days, but like, we partner up with. We've got partners in the ink. So like,
okay.
They're Christian Moore. I don't know if you know who Christian is, but Christian used to work for one of the other ink companies. He's worked for Tat Soul. He's worked for Eternal for a while, Eternal Supply,
Right
and
on.
yeah. So I started an ink company with him, and he owns a tattoo shop in Charlotte called Vault Tattoo, and then he's also got a couple conventions of his own, video game tats and anime ink. So he's very much in tune with the whole pop culture space, and that's kind of more or less what we've built our ink brand around, is the pop culture scene and the artists
Okay.
entering that space. So we're really formulating colors and palettes that are more in tune with that whole
Well, that
demographic.
shows
That's
how
really
out
the
of
focus.
touch I am, because I didn't know there was a pop art or pop culture scene. Must be pop culture.
Oh,
What is? Oh,
huge,
that's like the ones where they have like a realistic picture, and then they'll have like a sticker or something, or some Scooby Doo right in the middle of it.
No, I mean, pop culture is anything to do with like science fiction or wrestling or
Okay.
anime, cartoons, Pokemon, anything like that. Superheroes, that's all pop culture stuff. So it's
Right on.
been a scene, but really the anime scene's gotten really big in tattooing recently over the last few years. So
Boy, it's been exploding. Now
yeah, so
Israel Adesanya is giving homage to anime in his fights.
yeah,
Did you
it's a
know
pretty
that?
big. No, but it's a pretty big deal. So it doesn't
He
surprise me.
comes out sucking his thumb or something. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing? This is weird. He's got his thumb in his mouth, like biting his thumb the whole time, like doesn't stop. And then I see the article, and I asked my son about it, and he's like, oh yeah, that's Nosferatu from Chosen of the Dead. I don't know. I'm making that up,
Yeah, it's
but it's
crazy,
some
man.
anime thing that he does. And then I'm reading the article though, and like he taunts these guys he's fighting, and the taunts that he'll do against them. Now I realize that they are also from the anime.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like he'll do some kind of like come on thing, like, and it's from, I don't know, it's from another anime thing. Something
I
Cody
know.
Gower
Yeah,
would know.
Cody's big into that stuff. Love that dude too.
Yeah, I just seen that he posted that he likes doing anime because now he just has to trace or something. He was making some kind of it's like, I'll never have to draw again. My work is already done for me. I'm like a fucking Epson, not even
Oh
a
my god.
Lexmark, or maybe a Canon. I don't know. Yeah, that's the new scene, huh? That's what's coming up.
Well, I mean, it's just trendy right now, So we're like we did an anime skin tone set, for example. That's the bunny
Okay.
set. So we paired up with an artist that was really big into that, and she helped us develop an anime skin tone set that was just specific to anime characters. So that's what I'm talking about when I say doing different tones, that aren't really focused in that direction or haven't been in the past. So
How
that's
does
really
a
the
company like yourself, new ink company, make sure that their product has a longevity in the skin? Being so new, it's hard to say you've got any experience,
it's new to the market. Like I said, we've been working on this for 2.5 years prior. So there's been
Mhm.
plenty of tattoos done with it, and it's been healed for year and a half, 2 years, where it's been,
And then I'm
it's been.
guessing your support team has been affiliated, that they've worked with ink, you were saying already as well, or
Sure. I mean,
inside of
yeah,
it. Okay.
we're not recreating the wheel. We're working with people that have been in the space for many, many years developing tattooing. So we didn't just set up a lab somewhere and start making inks. We went out to people that have already been in the business for a long time. And I even told you before, Tramp helped me out a lot, gave me a lot of advice and pointers. So I'm fortunate in
That's
that
awesome.
sense. I have a lot of good relationships with people in the industry, and people that have been in the industry for a really long time. And so I'm not an abrasive person at all. You know, I'm friends with everybody I encounter for the most part. And so, you know,
why is that? What makes you so weird like that?
I just jive well with people, man. I'm not an abrasive person. I always want to try to help people out.
Do you see people as having value even when many other people might write them off?
Everybody's got value to some degree. I mean, everybody's good at something, knows something. I think people don't spend enough time trying to get to know other people. You know, I think that's a big problem in the world. You know, it's just everybody's so self-consumed, and it's like,
right.
There are really interesting people out there, just like Robbie Ripple eating his own penis. You know,
penis.
I mean, like that's interesting just in its own right. You know,
I hope people are enjoying this, and somebody is going to listen to it and be, who fucks Rob Smead?
I feel like this. If you go sit down next to a homeless person on the street and just have a conversation with a random homeless person, you'll probably learn some really interesting shit.
Oh my God, Flint is full of some of the best, and you ain't wrong. Like, there is a reason for. I even bring all this up, I guess, just to point out that that's the way I kind of feel about it. I know that you have that same kind of outlook, that some people may write somebody off because of whatever reason, but there's a value to that person, and certainly you might be surprised how valuable they could be to your own life, you know, to yourself.
You don't. I mean, you hear it all the time. Where just the other day I was going through the drive-through and food for lunch, and I was just I had one of my coworkers with me, and we were talking in the car and laughing about something, and the girl that came out to bring the food, she said, were you talking to me? And I'm like, no, but I had a big smile on my face or whatever because we were laughing about something. And she said, well, do me a favor. Just keep smiling just like that, because I've been having a really bad day, and that just cheered me up. And so, but you hear things like that all the time where people will say, like, you never know how a smile could change somebody's day. So it's just like the same concept. You know, it's like, even if you just go up to a random stranger and just ask them how their day's going, I mean, that could just be the scale that tips a person in the right direction when they were in the wrong direction all day before that, you know? So,
right.
You never know.
Or you just entertain yourself. I don't know. I do it for more selfish reasons, I believe. But I also recognize that there's a good to be had from it. So then I feel good indulging in the selfish reason. I truly believe these people will make my life more interesting. You know?
I just feel like you get what you put out, man. I feel like if you put good energy out, good energy comes back in. And I've tried to help people out a lot in the industry along the way, and people help me out. And so I just think that's the wheel that you got to keep greasing, man, you know? And so I've been fortunate, you know, and it's interesting too, because there are people out there that want to see you fail all the time. And those are your haters, you know, and they pretend like they're your friends sometimes, and they're not.
Right.
That's my Achilles heel in life, you know, is that I trust everybody, and I think everybody's always going to have their best interest at heart. And then it just
some people surprise you still.
Sometimes doesn't turn out that way, man. Money does weird shit to people for sure.
Yeah, it brings out the worst in us sometimes. You've had an experience like that?
Oh, yeah, I've had a bunch of them for sure. I've lost a lot of money, you know, trying to help people out and get people off in the right direction with their own ideas and stuff like that. And then, you know, it just doesn't.
I don't believe it. You didn't even begin to. You could have jumped on my GoFundMe for my trash can.
Bro, I will finance your trash can. You just got to have the passion. I'll be your Shark Tank, bro.
I don't. That's the unfortunate thing.
Let's do our Shark Tank deal right now. I will finance your project for 10% royalties.
But I can't do the work. I just you're asking me to do something besides play Call of Duty eventually, right?
You got to do the work, man. You got to do the work. I don't think it takes a whole lot of work, man. You got TikTok. I think you just do a few TikTok videos, get one of those suckers to go viral.
He says everybody wants to be famous. They don't want to do the work or something. It's like, yeah, I'm right. He's right. I get it. I don't. And I don't want to do. I don't want to because why? You know, I don't know. I think somebody else would do it for me. After that, then I'll always be able to say, damn it, I came up with that idea so long ago than that person. Now look at him. He's fucking going to Mars. Billionaire, got his own fucking jet plane. At least I'll have that story. I'll have fun enough with that story.
Dude. Well, man, the only people that are broke in this world are the people that don't want to work for something, man. Because I'm telling you, it's not hard to make money. It's not hard to make money, especially today. It's not hard. I don't understand why anybody's not. I mean, fuck, dude. There's 20-year-old kids making millions of dollars on social media. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. And they're sitting crazy at home. And they're sitting at home playing Call of Duty all day.
Yeah, I think
they're smarter than we are.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I'm gonna record my interactions with Call of Duty support team. Actually, no, I couldn't do that, man. Everybody's like, they're gonna be like Kyle. You know, I started there. I was right there with you because it was a problem. You know, it was legitimate. But then you just immediately started being the biggest dick.
But look, you don't even have to do it as Kyle Dunbar. You can go set up a TikTok account and make up a character. Nobody knows you over there. You just make up a character, call it a different name, and you be this. You could be like Karen
Smead.
calling. No, you could be Karen calling tech support all the
time. Right. I'll just be. Man. It'll still have to be Kyle though, because Kyle's the male Karen, right? Like when Karen changes her pronouns, that's who she becomes, I think.
You can still be Kyle.
Karen, form of Kyle. No, it's sad. My aunt's name is Karen, and she is the sweetest. Like,
dude, I think you have some really good ideas you're sitting on, buddy. I think you just need to make them. You need to hatch those eggs.
I need to put them on a podcast or something.
You need to do something, man. You're sitting
That's
on
all
some
I've been interested in right now. Actually, tell me about that. Your experience with podcasts, because you were running podcasts for a minute.
Yeah.
You and Scotty Whitaker. Is Scotty still doing them?
No, he's not. He wants to, but like I said, COVID kind of killed our podcast, really.
Because it's mostly traveling and all, or what?
Yeah, it was strictly traveling. We were doing all of our episodes at tattoo conventions and at shops. So when COVID hit and everybody didn't travel, you know, that kind of just killed the whole thing. And we just really haven't never brought it back since then.
Right on. When you're ready, I want to be on it. You know, Troy is going to put together a podcast of road stories. So you may end up getting what you want in a venue, just trade stories on James fucking the largest pancake in the world.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it sounds. James Vaughn having sex with the largest pancake in the world. And man, I thought he ate it or something.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that's what I
woke up in the morning and ate it. I don't even know if he really had sex with it, but and all of this is probably untrue. That's what we're talking with Troy and we're like, how are you going to get around the disclaimer and the stuff? You know what we should just say? All these stories are mandatorily embellished to protect the innocent or to protect the guilty. All of these stories are mandatorily embellished. So if it sounds like it's no, we're doing that. Listen, my friends are too cool to tell a story as boring as it really happened. I'm going to have to add a little.
Hey, we were gonna pitch another show to Spike or whatever. We wanted to call it Hotel Tats. Like we wanted to be the after show at, you know, like the convention after show, the reality show Hotel Tats, where we finish our tattoos in the hotel room.
Oh yeah,
but we wanted to strongly embellish. But we wanted to embellish it too, like not only did we tattoo in hotel rooms, but we had hookers stopping by. There were hookers snorting cocaine off the counters by the TV set. You know, it wasn't just tattooing.
Dude, that's not such an embellishment.
Some wild partying going on.
You know some of these stories. You're just talking about taking a couple of instances that you know about and then making them all occur on the same night. That's all you're really talking about. Yes, you have a movie then. You have a coming of age movie. Yeah, dude, there was a Sturbridge. Fucking pizza man comes to the door, just happens to be a gangbang with one of the models or whatever working for one of the shops there that weekend. And that's how he gets tipped. Like literally gets his dicks. Oh, I can say it. It's my show. He gets his dick sucked by one of the fucking whores there who was involved in the gangbang. Like, you know, when you're a pizza guy, that's kind of the thing you think about sometimes. Like, well, I mean, maybe not necessarily having a gangbang that you come in, but some horny wife is like, really, I ordered the pizza to get your sausage.
Right.
And then it goes on. Wow, right? So I don't know. That guy had that night, but then it was also this girl who's having it's just not anyways. It goes on. Those stories though, all on one night. Fuck yeah, that shit's happened. It's not untrue at all. When we gonna
that'd be a good Netflix series, I feel like.
So that's what we're writing then, huh? So you're saying, dude, Kyle, we're scrapping Everybody Loves Jesus. The story of Joseph is interesting to nobody, even if we do get to have a fight scene where Jesus says, "You're not my real dad." Doesn't matter to you.
No, I want to do that one. We've talked about that one for a long time. I told you I wanted to have a part.
Right on, man. We'll have to make angels for everybody. I don't know. That's as far as I got to. I've written it 3 or 4 different times, and then I got it all in my head, and I'm like, man, I really hate writing. It's such a pain.
It is a pain, but beautiful things come out of that. You should write some, I think.
I got some good dialogue, and I do have, it's even funny, but it, like I said, just I like playing that Call of Duty. I like that heroin. That's what it is. I like that heroin, man, and I'd rather be shooting up. Be shooting children online. I don't know why I love thinking that they're like cursing their parents out for not buying good enough internet. Why you don't give me better Wi-Fi? Keep getting killed. Throw their phone at the wall or whatever. It's so sad. I'm playing on my tablet. I'm playing on a tablet. I don't even play on that big system because those kids are so much better than me. I've had to downgrade my competition level by downgrading my platform.
Man, how hard is it to play on a tablet?
What
do? You just tap on the person that you want to shoot? Like, is that how you do it?
Yeah, it's so fucking easy, man. It's better than a controller because like you can finger, you can follow things better with a mouse, right? Like I've seen my son play with the computer and everything looks easy on his right hand. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. The left hand, however, where he's with the keyboard and it looks like he has arthritis, he's a genius with it. He's like just jumping around Z, Y, X, A, S, F, A, D or whatever. I've tried that stuff and it does. It gives me arthritis. But however, on the tablet, both sides are like the mouse, and you can set your HUD up however you want. I play with 6 fingers, top. So there's a lot of things to do. And there's a lot of stuff to learn. And I don't know, now support's pissing me off that really I spent the whole day today just fucking with support. Like calling them stupid and stuff, really stuff that you couldn't build a fan base on. Like you say you would listen to it. No, you'd be like, fuck that guy. Like I think I might even say something at the beginning, like, hey, you know how this game's kind of wasting my time. I figure I'm just gonna waste yours too. Let's have a little banter. I know it's never gonna get solved. You have no solutions, and it's a time expiring node that I'm getting points for. So everything that they do is just to obfuscate for time so that by the time it can be solved, it's already expired and I'll forget about it. Oh, anyways, I'm sure that's exciting. I should probably get off of my problems with a gaming lifestyle. An outgamed lifestyle. These kids nowadays are good. I'm sure it's going to be like that with tattoos eventually too. Because people like these pop art kids, they're all progressing, and I'm going to be like, I don't know, I do black and gray. You want a deer? I can put a deer on you.
I just bought a classic Nintendo.
Did what? The NES or the Super NES?
NES, the old school, dude.
Whoa!
I got
like
yeah, man, and I got like, I don't know, 50 games with it or something. I got that for like $150 on eBay, man. I thought that was a steal.
That's a
And
good deal. That is.
I got all the good games, man. Like all the stuff that.
Do any of them work? You got.
They all work.
You have to
I
spit
got to
in all
blow
of
in
them
them
to make
bad
them work.
boys and everything too. Oh yeah, you got to jiggle them in and out of the thing. You know, like you got to force some of them in there a little bit harder. Some of
you
them
have one when you were growing up.
Gently put in. Oh yeah, yeah. Remember how you got to do that one trick where you kind of like insert the disc and then you just kind of got to get it right to the edge before you push it down in there, but you get it in there where you get it just enough to where you clip the edge when you push it down, so you're just like right in there.
I feel like I remember a lot of different tactics to try and get your favorite games working, and I feel like I didn't own one, but my friend did, so we'd go to his house, but he was a real dick about it. And I don't know, dick, like if you blew in his game, he would, oh, stop it. Oh God, get a Q-tip and some rubbing alcohol. Don't blow at it. Whatever. I guess it was his. He was the same kind of guy that would make you watch him play Legend of Zelda until he was, decidedly done. Then we can play Excite Bike. Oh, did I lose you? So I have successfully stayed too long. The proof is Rob's battery has died. So with that, we conclude another episode. Hope you enjoyed listening, and look forward to I don't know, what do you do here? Adapt. That's all, folks.